Hello, everyone. Okay, so before you watch the rest of this, go ahead and spend at least 10 to 15 minutes working on the second paragraph if you haven't already. And of course, you can come into essay if you need to, if you just like want to work through class, because we're not doing homework this week. So this is your chance to see how you're doing with the participles just solo. All right, so we had this sentence where we kind of had an implied suit. um, there is much applause. There is much praise because he's describing a successful order.
Sorry, staff kids may now be dismissed. Thank you.
Okay, I'm almost positive she already did that one, but that should be the last one. Okay, and we had this present passive verb. He's talking about a successful public speaker or a lawyer specifically. All right, so let's continue. Orter animos audientem tangit. Let's see here. And this is the one I got.
I need Sydney Matson to the office, please.
I stumbled on this one that we have a genitive plural present active participle, which is a little odd. But yeah, I figured that one out in real time after yesterday's video. Okay. And then we had this great sentence. Okay, all right. So we did this. And we had some perfect passive participles. Now we make it to this one. De oratora etiam tu non adsidens et attenta audiens, sed uno aspectu et praeteriens eum aspexeris saepe iudicere poteris. So this is a crazy sentence. Why did I think the last one was crazy? All right, so we really need our glossed words to understand this successfully. And I'm realizing I should probably go grab my little 38 stories booklet. But you should be looking at this, scanning it, trying to identify what kind of participle we have. It's the same kind showing up 3 times. I'm just grabbing something right now. But even though almost none of these are verbs, well, one of them is a verb we definitely have. So, 1 second. Okay, sorry for the delay. Let's see here. So we have this verb adcito, which just means to sit near. That is the first participle showing up. So hopefully you had the time just now while I was walking to my class to see that this is present active. So day, we're not really sure if this is going to be from or about, but maybe like about or around the orator. Even if you are not sitting, is this first part. Oh, so concerning is what I chose. So about would actually work. About the orator, or like regarding the orator, in this case, concerning the orator, even if you are not sitting. And so audio audire is a verb we have that is also present active. And these are nominative singular. So they're like agreeing with, in this case, you is the subject. So even if you're not sitting near the orator or the speaker, and audiens attente, listening attentively, right? That should be pretty clear, even if you had to guess what attenta was. But una aspectu, don't they gloss most of that for us? That's a look. So like in one glance, or maybe but with one glance. Let's see, what do we think? But in one glance, but with one glance. So I think it's like ablative of means. But it makes me think of the phrase like in a moment, where we use in instead of like we obviously wouldn't use with. But yeah, so but with one glance, and then okay, looks like we have another present active participle here, praeterio, and passing by him. So it has a direct object there. We'll make them the good new colors, I guess. All my participles to be purple. Maybe the time I spend making participles purple has actually effectively gotten you guys to learn them more more efficiently or something. I don't know. But Praetorians is that's clause for so. But in passing by him, and then this, you might not recognize. This is just a straightforward second person verb. You catch sight of like him. But so passing by, it's kind of unclear if this him is the direct object of the present active participle, like passing by him, or if it's the direct object of or just our verb here. You see him passing by. You see him. So it's probably actually the direct object of the verb. Often you can judge. So it's saying like if it's a good orator, you'll be able to know that it's a good orator just kind of like very quickly in a moment, even if you're just kind of like passing by the proceeding that is going on. It should be enough to know. All right, I will change that all later. But let's see, the rest of it will be in my Latin 3 summary. Okay. Is it right here? Indeed. Okay, let's grab all that. I'm telling you guys, it's finally the last of the weirdly colored and or formatted slides. Everything is super formalized after this point. So that's going to be kind of nice. All right, so we did that sentence with a bunch of present active participles. But Davis, you will see the judge direct object. Uscitantum, what's going on there? They give us uscito is to yawn. So once again, we have another present active participle. And oh, look, there's a whole bunch of them. So you will see the judge yawning. I don't know why the judge is yawning. It's kind of hard to follow here. Let's see. Maybe he's going to tell us why he'd be yawning. Loquentum, what the heck is loquor? That is also gloss. That's yawning. Again, present active. They're just going to be verbing. And some of these look like they're not even going to have their own direct objects or anything. So you'll see the judge yawning. Speaking cum altero with, what is altus, alti, or altus, alta, altum? Anyone? Or sometimes it is alter, alterius. But they're kind of the same. It's going to be other or another, not non-numquam. That's kind of weird. What do we do with that? Because we don't say not, never in English. Let's see. But it's something like, I wonder why he didn't use non-umquam. I'm not seeing a note about that. It's kind of weird. So see the judge yawning, speaking with another. Another would be good for that. Let's gloss that. There. Is other, in this case, another sounds good. Not ever. Let's just kind of gloss past that. That's what it is in the text. I have it in front of me. Weird. Didn't make a typo. Not, never even going astray. So this is like arrow, errare, to go astray. Or sending something. They glossed this for sure. So mitera ad horas, sending someone to check the time. Isn't that a weird way that's how they would render sending someone to check on the time? Because the someone is just totally missing, but like sending something to the time, to the hour. And then we have this last phrase. And so it's like we have a pattern here. We're aware we're using present active participles. And so this one is just going to be the one down here. That we should skip to, and that'll help us understand what to do with these first few words. So sending someone to check the time, or neglecting the words spoken by the orator. So this PPP that's been here, that is a perfect passive participle from dico, dicera, and it has its own ablative of agent there. All right, that's interesting. Am I missing anything here? Like why? So he's describing what a judge does if the judge is bad or if the orator is bad. Interesting. Look how much better those colors are compared to this. Okay. Anyway, we'll keep moving. Eventually, it might become clear to us what is going on here. So that's what we end up with for that. Haec causa caret vero oratora qui potest animos iudum moveri oratione. So haec causa, that could be a subject or a direct object. It could be like a neuter plural subject, direct object, or a singular feminine subject. But let's just pretend that it's a direct object, I think, because something about this case, we're still going to translate causa as case. So this case lacks, okay, I think it is the subject. This case lacks a true orator. So I would gloss for everyone here. Careo. I'm convinced you guys still don't know this word, even though it shows up at least once a week. Careo, careri. And so it actually gets a what? It reads like a direct object here, but those are not accusative endings, so that is actually an ablative of separation. So this case lacks a true orator. Okay, so he's saying what happens if this is a bad orator. Early on, I thought he was going to describe a good one, but I guess it's a bad. The judge is bored. He said you'd be able to tell if he's bad very quickly. So this case lacks true order. Who, so we're starting a relative clause here, who can something about the spirit. Oh, okay, they can move the spirit. Eudum is this is kind of tricky here because we have eudex, eudicus, judge, eudicium, eudicii, judgment, and this one right here is the spirit. Eudicus. I don't know what it is. I feel like it's a typo. Yeah, eudicium. So this is actually from Eudex. I don't think this is a typo for you guys, but I guess it might be. So that's judge. So that's that weird third conjugation genitive ending right there, which I make pink. Okay. Oh, I fix it on that side. Okay. All right. So it lacks a true order. Who can move the spirits of the judge? It's weird. It's like multiple spirits of the judges. Okay, of the judges just in general. Oratorione, what is that going to be? So this is not the speaker. This is not orator, oratorus, the speaker. This is still not glossed for us, I guess. No, it is. Okay, this is the second to last word glossed for us. Oratorius is, that's not it either. Okay, it's not that one. It's, do we have this now? This is the art of oratory. So he can't move the spirits of the judges with oration, oration. Is oratory a word? Who knows? So, okay. And then this is the last sentence, and this is kind of a doozy. So if I skip ahead a little bit, I see my verb. If you see, however, the judge sitting up, I think they gloss that for us. Unless they don't. Why are they leaving out so many words? Oh, I see. This is a fourth principal part of this origo verb, to raise up. You see the judges raised up. That sounds kind of weird. Let's say sitting up. Who, about the affair, and then this is kind of tricky here. So if you remember, around the time we get present passive verbs in the first place, we learned that Videor has its own dictionary entry in general. And so it is just the passive of video, videri, to see. But this is, it kind of has its own thing. So it's going to be more like seen. It can be seen or to be seen. But seem is what it might more often be. Who, we're talking about the judges who are setting up, who seem to be taught, docere, that's the passive infinitive of dokeo, docere, who regarding the affair seem to be taught or will be held in suspense So teneo tenere, that's a verb we don't see too much, but it means to hold, and that is future passive. And Ut is like just as. Oh, this is weird. Me and my student in the ninth graders, we did not really get what this meant. So just as, it's like a metaphor he's setting up basically. Just as birds uh, are held in suspense by some song. Huh, yeah. So that still sounds just as bad. Um, you will recognize the signal of a true or the sign of a true order, and um, and holding well uh, the labor of an orator. Managing well, managing works better. If you have ever seen excited judge who seems to be taught about the matter, to be taught, or will be held in suspense just as a bird with some song. Yeah, man, I still don't get that one. Just as a bird with some song. Fascinating. So is the bird held in suspense? Or is he saying this is how people react when they hear a bird sing a song? Who knows? That's Cicero for you. You will recognize the signs of order in the work of an orator or orators, because this is plural genitive. The work of orators managing well. All right. If you did not like this reading, my ninth graders didn't like it either. I think this one kind of stands out. If anything, it might be a little early for us in chapter 23, where in a couple more chapters maybe we'd be more used to it. The next reading, though, is a Gallic War reading. It's about Julius Caesar talking about the different kind of like French tribes, like early French tribes. So that will probably go a little more smoothly. And let's just review real quickly our lectiones that you guys will potentially be tested on Friday. We have this one with a perfect passive participle. Remember, they're going to be purple. So verbed by the enemy, he said nothing about his own clan. So this is a good example of the two parts of the participial part and the main clause part. They don't really function too well on their own. You kind of need to understand what's going on with both of them for that to go well. I would ask about Coptus. I would ask the tense and the voice, and you would hopefully tell me it's perfect passive. I don't think I'd ask about Gentasua, but Dixit, I might ask the tense, and that is perfect third person singular. All right, if I ask about this one, aliquim is a direct object. Potentum is a present active participle.
We need you up front, please. Keegan, hold up.
And so whereas this has a perfect passive participle, this is present active. And so the big giveaway is that nt there. It's a new verb, peto petra. So I do not like someone always seeking gifts. The trick here was that the main verb delago, first person singular, is taking this as a direct object, whereas this participle is taking dona as its direct object. So ad ludum tuum filium meum docindum misi. Let's see. I could pick this one, honestly. Like I've been saying a lot, we don't see too much future passive participles in this chapter. This is, as far as I know, I think one of two times, but this isn't a bad sentence. So if I asked about that, you'd have to tell me it is future passive. So it's a future passive one. If I asked about this, I know a lot of y'all would trip up on that. That is first person singular perfect tense. And yeah, filium meum's direct object, where ludum tuum is an object, accusative object of ad. All right, so yeah, that one's definitely not off limits. Let's see if would I rule this one. No, this one's okay too. Frightened or having been frightened by these plots, we will live. It's future tense. Did I not catch that? Where we will live a wretched life without hope. The only thing I would ask about here is really just the participle. Well, yeah, that was a thing since I almost missed it. I should put a spotlight on that. This is first person plural future. So if I did pick this one, I would ask about the tense of this verb because I'd probably need something else to talk about or ask about other than just the fact that teriti here is a perfect passive participle, having been terrified or frightened, which we can just take as frightened or terrified. That's fine. And this last one, I will not pick this one. I don't like this one. So yeah, 1 through 4. It's down to those 4. Sorry that my slides on the Cicero are not quite up to par, but as you can see, starting with chapter 24, we will have very standardly formatted and designed slides. Don't know where it is right now, but it's somewhere down here. Okay, guys, if you want to talk more about the second paragraph or you need to finish this video, feel free to come on in. Yeah, here we go. This is when things get really formalized. All right, guys, bye.